Revolt. Why and against what? Well, that is a revolting quagmire by the King George, Queen Hoover, Hooverists, revolting against the laws of God and man, the U.S. Constitution, Bill of Rights, and civil rights. While I was making the previous tape, this is Preacher Doc, and you have to be at least 21, I always say, to watch my tapes, because I'm telling it like it is, in the exact language they throw at me, and I throw it back at them. It was maybe sometimes a little emphasis. And so, while I was completing the tape to put it on, my son essentially apologized because we had promised he would not raise his voice against me. And regardless how they spin his grandson around, and then first spin him around to spin me around, and I promised I would not raise my voice against him. And we're back to where normal, but we know we each have survived and overcome, etc. Now, this is an addendum, and I was thinking in the last one to emphasize what Abraham Lincoln decided and said and told the American people. And that is, if the criminals, if those who are corrupt use force to take over the government, which they've done, assassinations, murders, murder witnesses, cover-ups, blackmail, using government money or money they get, if they have control of the government, which they have, and now they openly say we do what we want, we practice genocide. Yeah, we kill off those that, if they become the leader, one of the leaders would replace us. Like Colleen Raleigh has a expose video that I think everybody should see. And those others that are former FBI, and some are still in the FBI, arguing with them, and being, their lives being, maybe they die mysteriously or by accident or way before their time. So, what did I want to maybe include? Well, Lincoln said the American people have the right to take up arms and get their government back. While the politicians have said that's illegal. You can't take up arms against the government. You can get in a group and march with a permit, a certain day, certain time, certain way. And then they film that to see who is on their blacklist. And so, who's on their, that they don't like and so forth. Well, the freedom of speech and the Constitution, all that don't mean anything to the Hoovers. They got control and they say that's what it is. Well, then I have to raise my voice to the following faggot, Hoover's CS's. I have to raise my voice and demand honors and some of my money back. I have to raise my voice and put emphasis that maybe it's time for the American people to really arm themselves, because if this corroded, corrupt government suddenly, they explode, they collapse, they explode, you have to be able to protect your family and yourself. So I think it's time for the American people to at least follow Lincoln's advice to take up arms to protect themselves, at least. And many for years have said that's what they're doing because the government is corrupt and they're using force, have to use force to take it over. And they have armed themselves to protect themselves. I think it has to be of all the non-voters that take up arms to protect themselves and vote. The way to do it is through the ballot box and vote out. They used to say throw the bums out. To throw out these criminal, corrupt assassins and murderers, cover-up artists, grand theft artists. So I have this addendum saying, yeah, I think it's time for the American people to revolt against the situation of quagmire that they are in, being forced into its revolting against the laws of God and man. These Hoovers, they don't care. They're going to keep practicing genocide, assassins, murders, cover-ups, grand thefts, whatever they want to do, and they laugh in your face and say, yeah, we want you to argue with us, so you fight on the public like in the street, so you get like in a gutter fighter and so forth. They want you to do that, so they can say, see how he is, he argues. He's no good. And they're no good. You see? They want to argue that you are argumentative. You are no good. Not of the crimes they've committed, that they have we have an illegal president. Let's face the fact. So the corruption, the deals they must have made to work this deal where they have control of them. We have a illegal president, and they taught me, and I had to take it, that if there's a black girl walking down the street and two black men jump out of a car where there were four black men, two in the front, two in the back seat, and grab her and throw her in the back seat and start punching her, that don't do anything. That happens all the time. I had to take that. I had to take that I could reach out and grab a guy that they had, whoever had drugged and forced into a psychic situation in which the man flipped and lost control and then killed the girls that they were setting them up with. I could have reached out and grabbed them, but no. They made sure I couldn't do that. They waited until he went up to Oregon and killed two co-eds so he could immediately say, look how fast I found out who it is. And we took films of this fella coming out after the murders or something. That's how good Hoover says he is and how he runs his bureau. That's his bureau. That they still have his name like it's his building. Isn't that? How could anybody work in that building with that fellow's name on it? They got a museum to entice young men to go up and look at Hoover. And he's a pedophile. You see the impossible situation of these gyrations they do among themselves and say this is what it is. No, that's what they do. They play among themselves of what it is and say that's what it is. They're just masturbation, Hoovers, experts is what they are. Oh, good golly. So I have to raise my voice and say, I think it's time we really revolt by arming ourselves. Because if it explodes, you got to be able to protect your family and you. And some of them have been doing that. And they say, well, they're not good. Hey, you're going to trust Hoover and the Bushes. They got the attempted Ronald Reagan. They couldn't get the votes, so they got an actor like I suggested. I subscribe. You get an actor, get him up there to learn how to speech and gesture. Why not get a popular actor and he be the president? And when he couldn't get the vote, that's what they got. A popular actor got the vote. What? And then they shot him, but he survived. Isn't that the true fact? So I have to raise my voice and demand honors and some of my money so I can buy my church and be what I should be doing now, a preacher with a nice little church in the Southwest. But I'm forced to have these tapes and say what the true facts are. Now, all of those, of course, who realize and say, yeah, those are the true facts, and especially if you can help in some way, I say, what high gratitude, thank you. Really, thank you.